Hello, guys. Good night, everyone. Welcome to the stream live of Friday. This Friday that was pretty slow for trading, which is usually the case for Fridays. But we had really something that caused the stocks to drop towards the end of the day. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that today during the stream. So everyone who is joining the stream right now, welcome. My name is Gerardo. I am a swing trader, and I also am an investor. Um, the same time, I still have my day job, so I don't do this. Um, I don't do this for a living, so I don't depend on this for a living. But I do it on the side, and I get um, pretty good money every couple months. Whenever I sell my stock, and the whole point of doing this kind of live is just to kind of educate a little bit on how to start investing, why start investing, and I bring up the news events that happen during the day in the stock market. So if you guys are joining and are beginners and never have invested or are trying to invest and you don't know how to start, I don't give recommendations on what stocks to buy. Like most people who are serious about stock, they're not gonna give you recommendations. But um, but at least I can give you my insight, and then I can give you a couple of steps on how to start and get started on stocks. So if you guys are joining the live, welcome, and I hope you guys are having a good Friday. And we'll start in a couple minutes. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to join the live, and then we'll get started. Have a couple of interesting things to talk about. Definitely, if you have been watching the market, uh, it kind of took a dive towards the end of the day, the trading day. So interesting. We'll talk about that in a minute. Why that happened and what to expect for Monday. So we'll take a look at that, guys. So again, welcome everyone to the live. Hope you're having a great Friday. We'll get started on the live in a few minutes. I'm just gonna give it a couple more minutes just to get started on the information I want to share with you guys. The one and only. Thank you for joining the live. It looks like UHN going a bit down on Monday. Probably, man. I have a couple of things to share about that. So give me another minute. Have a couple more people join the live. So Victor, thank you for joining the live. Do you see that fake out on Spy in the last hour today? Sergio, um, it wasn't really a fake out. I'm gonna share what I mean I would have thought it was a bull trap towards the end of the day, but it really wasn't. It was just some macro news that really affected all the stocks in general. So it wasn't just on the SPY. It affected every single stock. Nothing wrong with the stock. Nothing wrong with any company. It was just bad news that we get every now and then, which I think the market was due for a pullback. I just definitely didn't expect it to be like at that time. It was I think the last no, I think it was actually after market when the stock started to take a dive. After market, because that's when the news came out. So it wasn't really a fake out or a bull trap. It was just macro economy, macro news that happened. So I'll share some of the news that happened. If you guys didn't hear, well, we're gonna talk a little bit about that today. So just waiting. Let me wait 30 more seconds. Get some people going. So good thing I didn't swing trade. Sergio, if you didn't, this is just what I do. You can obviously make your own conclusions, but I don't really buy stocks on Friday because Fridays are already slow, and a lot of the options expire. So that's why I don't really trade on Fridays. I usually enter into my positions if I do, because I'm a swing trader. So I just buy and sell in a week, in a month, whenever the stock makes sense. So Wednesday are the best. Yeah, it could be. It could be if you're doing options or you're just buying stock. Wednesday could be a good day. I usually take a look at Mondays, and if Mondays are good and the position on the stock makes sense, then that's where I enter. But Wednesdays are pretty good days as well. How long until recovery? Dusky, recovery on what? On the market? I mean, the market's been recovering, man. If you've been paying attention to the stock, market has been booming for the past week. I would say about the last 5 days. It's been having a lot of green candles, and it was due for a pullback. So it was due for a pullback. So obviously, the news that came out today at the market close affected the all the stocks in general. So it was due for a pullback, and there's nothing to worry about. So let's start talking about that in a second. What do the charts have gaps in them? The Yellow Ranger. Wondering this whole time, why did the charts have gaps in them? So let me answer your question, and then we'll get to the news that happened after the market closed today. So let's go ahead and get started. Everyone, again, welcome to the live. My name is Gerardo. I am a swing trader. I also am a stock investor, so I invest in the long term. I have two separate portfolios. One where I buy and sell stocks every week, every month when it makes sense to me, and another one that I just put money into it and I don't even look at it. If the stocks go down, I don't touch it. And then I'm also a real estate agent here in the state of California. I don't practice that as much just because I enjoy stocks. And I'm also a high school teacher. So I do that during the day. That's my job. I just trade in the morning, couple hours after the market opens. Then I go to work. I come back. I analyze. I read. I study all the news. And then here at night, I spend time with you guys. Just sharing some of the news, sharing some of my thoughts, and then just try to educate everyone on what's going to happen the next day based on the news, based on the macro economy, and make sure that everyone's informed in case you guys are investing in the market, or if you're not, then maybe you want to know why it's important to invest in the market and put your money into either stocks or bonds or some kind of um, of a growing investment, so we talk all about that. Dusky, thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys for being here. And without anything else to say, let's go ahead and get started with the news. So if you guys have been keeping up with the market, you might have noticed that today on Friday, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, Fridays are pretty slow because there's not a lot of volume. A lot of the big companies don't enter into positions on Fridays because you got the weekend, right? So these companies that manage big portfolios, like portfolios that are worth millions of dollars, they don't enter into positions on Fridays because anything could happen on the weekend. On a Saturday, they could be bad news, and there's nothing they can do to control it. Or on Sunday, something might drop. There might be, really bad news that move the market. So that motivates the big companies, the institutions, not to buy stocks, not to enter into positions. On the contrary, they start to sell positions. There are a lot of options that expire on Friday, so automatically that gives you a lot of less volume, and that makes the market not move. So the market usually moves with a lot of volume because there's a lot of people buying and a lot of people selling. But on Fridays, since there's not a lot of volume, then the stocks tend to be choppy. There are some stocks that do move up or down based on catalyst news. If there's something really bad that happens, like what happened today at the end of the market, then the stock drops. Or if there are really good news, because I mean lately the administration, whenever they speak on Fridays, if there are good news, then that sends the stocks flying. So Fridays are usually slow, but today, at the end of the day, this happened. So let me put it here on the screen. Let's see, Chrome. Okay, so well, actually that was there already. So here's what happened today. At the end of at the close of the market, Moody downgraded the United States credit rating. Moody is just a credit agency that pretty much studies the credit of, in this case, the United States, and they downgraded because the United States has a lot of debt. Okay, maybe you guys have heard it on the news. How much the debt of the United States grows every year. I think as of now, it is at like 30 something $trillion in debt, which debt is not bad, but when it's growing at a really fast pace, um, you know, things like this tend to happen. So because they came out with these news at the close of the market, well, guess what happens? Because the United States is always it has a big debt, then it's like when you take out a car, right? When you take out a car and you have a payment on your house, and then your credit cards are maxed out, and then you go and buy and try to get another loan, most likely they're gonna tell you no, right? Because you're paying for your car, you're paying for your house, you're paying for your credit cards, and if you try to get a loan for another car, then the probably the credit bureau is gonna say, you're, or the store wherever you go, they're gonna say, well, you're already in a lot of debt, so I'm not gonna let you borrow any more money. And that's exactly what happened today. So Moody said, well, United States, you have a lot of debt, and you want to increase that debt even more. How are you gonna pay for that debt? And that obviously affected the market, because now the United States cannot borrow a lot more money to buy and invest and do all these things. So that's what happened. Those are the news that came out after the market closed. And if we look at the charts, let's see, the spy the spy was doing pretty good. The S&P 500, right? It was I think it closed at around 594, so almost hitting that resistance at about 595, 596, and then from there I think it closed. Let me see. Right now it is at. I'm just looking at the aftermarket. See how it closed. SPY closed at 588. So after market, it went down to 588. Not a huge drop to me. I think it's a good pullback that was much needed because the S&P 500 had been running for 5 days straight. I mean, you could see here the charts, right? On on Tuesday after the news on China, then the stock jumped all the way to 583. Then I'm sorry, on Monday, and then on Tuesday 587. Wednesday was pretty much flat. On Thursday 591. Today 594. So for stocks to increase in a healthy way, they need to move up. Then they need to reclaim either one of the supports and then bounce back up, right? That's a healthy way for a stock to grow, or to move up. When the stock moves up, several days in the green, then it usually tends to make a small correction, which in this case, the news of Moody downgrading the United States credit or debt, then that kind of just caused the SPY to drop 6 points. So that's what happened. That's what happened, and that affected all of the stocks. So not only the SPY, but individual stocks like Nvidia, stocks like Amazon. I think also Amazon closed. Let's see, Amazon closed at 202. It dropped like 3 points. So nothing wrong with the stocks individually. Nothing huge that you need to worry about. To me, this kind of news is just they happened, and they made the stocks pull back a little bit, but it's a healthy pullback, like I mentioned. I what I'm expecting on Monday is maybe have a little bit of a red day, reclaim some of those 200-day moving averages, which, as you guys can see on my chart, that's the orange line right there. That's the 200 moving average. So Amazon might hit about 200, then bounce back if there are no more bad news. Okay, so these were bad news, but I don't because the market already knew that. I mean, if you know that the United States has been in debt for a long time, I mean, what do you think about the market? I mean, they've known this, you know, years in advance. So if you just found out about it or you just started thinking about it, it's because the market already knew, years ago. So if the market already knew that, then why did it drop? To me, it's just news that came out that kind of were needed for that healthy correction. So on Monday, I expect the market to be a little bit on the red, and have most of these stocks that have been running up hit the 200 moving average, and then from there just bounce back. So that's what I think is going to happen. Um, so I don't know what you guys think about that, but let's read some of the comments. And again, thank you guys if you just joined the live. Welcome. We were just talking about what happened at the close of the market today. Why is it that most of the stocks dropped, and what we expect to happen on Monday, which like I said, I expect a little bit of a pullback and then keep going up because most of the stocks are doing pretty good, based on the news and based on how many deals they're gonna announce next week as well, because that's what the administration said, that they were gonna announce a few more deals with other countries. If they do that, then that pushes the stock market, because they don't want uncertainty, right? They want to know what's going on. They want to know if there are any deals, if there are going to be more tariffs, if things are going to be more expensive. So once the administration comes out and say, hey, we got a deal, this is how much we're going to charge, then that, depending on what they say, which usually when they come out with deals, that gives the market, Wall Street, the certainty that, okay, this is what's going to happen in 6 months from now, because now they have everything on paper, right? So once they have the deals, I think the market is going to rally again. All right, so I'm gonna read some of the comments. Bro, I've been wondering, the charts have gaps. Oh yeah, forgot to answer that question. I apologize. That's the Yellow Ranger. So really quick, when stocks have big jumps from, and I forgot to even put a box here for a gap. But when stocks have big jumps like what we had on Monday when they announced the deal with China, or the details about the deal with China, because it's not an official deal. Okay, so if you guys have been paying attention to the news, the 90-day pause on tariffs with China, that's what it is. It's a 90-day pause. It's not a deal. Okay, it's not a deal because they don't have on paper how much they're gonna charge for items. They just lower the tariffs, but they did that so that they can start negotiating and putting everything in writing. And the 90 days, I believe the expiration of that is sometime in August, because they announced it in Monday. So I mean, you just got to do the math and count 90 days from this past Monday. And if within those 90 days they don't come to a deal, then the market is gonna drop again, and it's gonna be a big drop, bigger than probably the one we just saw a few weeks ago. Just because a few weeks ago, think about it, they knew that eventually the United States and China were gonna have to come to the table and make arrangements and deal with it. They knew that eventually it was gonna happen. It might have taken a month, a year, but it was going to happen. But now, if the 90 days expire, then the market is gonna know that, okay, there's nothing else we can do because we already came to the table. We didn't agree on anything. Then the market will know, okay, now there's absolutely nothing to do, and the stock market is gonna dump more than 25%, which is what how much it dropped last time. So just be on the lookout for that. I do hope that we do have a deal with China within those 90 days and the stock market rallies. But if we don't, then just know that that is what you should expect. The market to drop. And those gaps are created when you have those kind of news. When you have really good news, well, you close one day at a certain price, and then when you have good news and the market is closed, well, the next day it opens up with that gap. And in this gap, I mark them because the gaps usually tend to fill up. So for example, this is Amazon. If Amazon reclaims the 200, it might drop a little bit more and then reclaim it again and then go up, but it's gonna fill that gap, because stocks historically, they always do, they always, all the time, reclaim the gap that they leave in previous days. So that's what the gap is, man. I got SoFi on 35 call to January 26. 35, Sergio, man, that's like 100% gain, because I know SoFi right now it's at around $14. It might have dropped after market too. Let's see, I have it here on the aftermarket. SoFi is at it's at 1350. So it closed at 1390. It closed it after market. It went down to 1350. So I mean, it's within range. It didn't drop too much. Like I said, the news were bad, but I mean, the market was already, they already knew that. So I think it was just like the excuse to to have that healthy pullback. So I mean, I really hope, man. I was invested in SoFi. When it dropped, I put a stop loss because I wasn't sure about the stock. I know it has a lot of potential in the long term, but I was just trying to get a little profit, and I lost like $200, so it wasn't too bad. And then from there it went down to like 10, and I think the lowest it hit was around $8 or $9. But right now it's kind of recovering pretty good. It has a lot of resistance though at around $17, $18. If we look at the chart, I think that's a record or historic. Yeah, around $18. So that's when it rallied back in January, and then from there it just dumped, and it's been struggling to get back up to those $15 and reclaim that. But it definitely has a lot of resistance around $17. What do you think about MSTR? Is that MicroStrategy? MSTR. Yeah, it's MicroStrategy. I don't trade this stock. Let's see, what's a P on this? I know I remember seeing it, and there was a reason why. I don't see they don't even have a P ratio. They don't have anything like that. I don't really, trade micro strategy. All I can tell you is just from the chart. It's it's right now it's trying to break resistance, which was a resistance from back in December of 2024. So it's been hitting that resistance for a while now, around 427. So I think it hit 27. I mean, you can see it here. It hit 427 and it went back down. So as of now, I mean, it needs to break that price to move up and reclaim that 427, because that's pretty, it's pretty big resistance. It had let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 different days trying to hit that resistance, and when it broke it, it just came back down as fast. So yeah, so resistance right there, man. If you're trying to enter into the position, there's not a lot of gain until it breaks the resistance. Then if it reclaims and then moves up, then that might be a good time. But as of now, it doesn't look too good because there's not a lot of room. Sergio, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate you guys following. I appreciate also if you guys can give me a like, tap the screen. That'll be great. That kind of motivates me to stay here with you guys, and also not forget to say I appreciate you being here and giving me a few minutes of your time before maybe you're about to go to bed. I know in different places we have different time zones. I'm in California, so in California we have it's barely 9:30, so I usually do the lives from 9 to 11. But I appreciate you guys being here. And if you drop comments, ask questions about stocks, about how the day went, and I'll share a couple more pieces of information before you guys, before we end the stream. So I'm gonna share a couple more things. But let me read some of the comments. Dusky, how long do pullbacks usually last? It depends. If there are no more bad news, and like I said, they start releasing some information about the deals with other countries, then it might just be a couple days or maybe just Monday, and then we rally back up. So pullbacks, they usually don't last that long. It's just maybe like a couple days, maybe a week, and then but it'll do this, right? It'll come down, maybe make a higher low, come down, higher low, then good news, and then it starts breaking up. So yeah, it all depends. It's not science. I would be lying if I said it takes a day. It might take a day. I don't know. We might wake up in the green on Monday if there are good news on Sunday. So, Saturday or Sunday. So that's why a lot of the institutions don't trade on Friday, because they don't know what's gonna happen over the weekend. There might be bad news, and then we wake up even lower on Monday. So yeah. Dusky, follow the host. Thank you, Dusky. Appreciate the follow, man. I really appreciate it. Pill Clinton, follow the host. Appreciate it. Also, thank you. I'm trying to grow this live and this channel, so you guys are helping me a lot. You guys are some of the first people to follow me, so really appreciate it. And keep the taps coming. I also appreciate that. Do you have calls for next week? No. Alert. I actually had a position on options on Nvidia this last week, and it was a cover call for Nvidia, and my strike price was at around 140. It never filled because the most I think it was like 136 something. What was the high of Nvidia this past week? I think it was 136 something. 136, yeah, 136.30, 136.50, something like that. So it never got to the 140. So I just collected my premium. I made about $500-600 on Nvidia on that cover call, and I got my shares back. So my plan is to still sell at around 140, 143 ish. So I might do another cover call on maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. Depends on how the market is on Monday. I need to check it out, uh, and 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 maybe do another cover call until Friday. So, but yeah, so I'm trying to exit out of the position before for Nvidia specifically before earnings because I don't like to play earnings. Is it time to buy XRP? That's MS. That's crypto. XRP, right? I don't really do crypto just because crypto doesn't sell anything. Um, it's just who's willing to pay more for the crypto you buy, and that's the only game. You know, if I buy crypto at or XRP, I don't know what the price is. What's the price of XRP? I wonder if it'll XRP. Crypto. Let's see. So XRP is, I mean, it's 139. So let's say I buy one share of XRP. Um, the only way I would be able to sell it if it's somebody else is willing to pay more for it. That's the whole thing with XRP because they don't sell anything, right? They don't have earnings. They don't have products that they sell. So for me to trade something like that, it's just like based on luck. You know, crossing my fingers. Is it gonna increase? Is it gonna go lower? You know, so I don't like to play like that just because another thing is that cryptos are open 24/7. As you guys can see right now on the chart, it's moving. The price is moving, and I like my sleep. So imagine if I put in a couple $1,000s in this, I'm gonna be waking up at night to see if it's dropping or if it's time to sell. And I prefer to get a good night's sleep. So that's for you, all of you guys. If you guys do crypto, just take that into consideration. It probably would make you lose some sleep. I've seen some guys on TikTok trading like at 2 3 in the morning. You know, whenever I wake up and if I check my phone or something, I'll see some guys trading crypto at 3, and I prefer to get a good sleep. Um, so yeah, so that's my thoughts on XRP, man. But if you do it, I mean, by all means. How much does this impact ETH? What's ETH? I don't know what ETH is. ETH. Ethereum. Ethereum. So kind of the same thing. Crypto. I mean, I already gave you my thoughts on that. But usually when the market drops, it kind of pulls crypto with it, and the other way around. Usually crypto is like a couple steps ahead. Like last week, I know. I mean, I was just again just keeping up with the news. I don't do Bitcoin either. But Bitcoin went up. I think it broke the $100,000 level again. Or he reclaimed that resistance, which had been there for a long time, and then the market followed like 1 or 2 days after. So usually crypto leads the stocks. Not all the time, but sometimes that's a good way to look at things. We make the deal with China. What stocks will go up? All of them. Pending Mikey, all of the stocks are gonna go up, man. No matter what you buy. I mean, obviously the safe stocks, the ones that do more deals with China, are the ones that are going to be affected the most, which is like Apple. Apple has a big investment in China because that's where all the iPhones are made, in China. So if they make a deal with China and they say something like it's only 10% tariff on iPhones, then Apple is gonna rock. Apple is gonna it's gonna move up, because that's basically what's keeping Apple down, just the deals with China. So if you do some research and find what stocks or what companies have a lot of business in China, then those are the ones that are going to be affected the most, either to the upside or to the downside. Same thing with Nvidia. Nvidia is trying to get some market shares in China, and it's going to boom if they announce a good deal with China, and also if it goes south, then Nvidia is gonna drop a lot along with Apple. So see, hey, Kid, thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Again, thank you guys for the follow. Whoever is taking some of your day, I appreciate you guys being here and dropping some comments. So I'll try to get through all the comments as fast as I can. Tesla, I think it went down today, didn't it? Well, it went down after market. So let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla. You know, I'll give you my short thoughts on Tesla. Yeah, it went down to 340. So it closed at around 349. It went down like $10. Um, but here are my thoughts on Tesla. Right now, it's just speculation on the Robo Taxi, which comes out in July, I think. I think July. So Tesla has a tendency to delay a lot of the products, just like they delayed the Optimus robot. It was gonna come out sometime last year or this year, and I mean they haven't announced any release date on the Optimus robot. The Cybertruck, it was delayed before it came out last year. So they tend to delay their products a lot. And if the stock has been going up just on speculation that the Robotaxi is going to come out in July, if they delay it, this stock is going to drop probably around 250. I think that's where the resistance was. Actually 275. So if you see here, it had resistance back in July of last year. Then it had the same resistance in October of last year, and here it became support, as you can see in this part. So it hit again about 270, rallied back up. So if there are bad news on Tesla, it's probably gonna drop all the way to 270. On top of that, Tesla's earnings were horrible last time. They lost on EPS. They lost right here, so you could see right there. So they lost EPS. They lost on earnings. So if the earning reports are bad and they still are not releasing new products, or they're getting delayed, that's gonna kill the stock. That's gonna kill the rally, the green rally, and it's probably gonna start hitting support. So that's what I believe. See, Dusky Tesla. So I got your question, Tesla. Did he drop a coin? I mean, good luck with coin, man. Sometimes those coins, they just drop. It's like the what was that girl, the Hacktua girl, that released her coin, and then people bought into it, and then she disappeared. And that's what I'm telling you about crypto. Cryptocurrency or coins like that. I mean, you can buy it one day at $1 and buy 1,000, and then the next day it could be at zero, because the coins don't sell anything. They don't sell any products. They don't have any fundamentals. So, just my opinion, I stay away from those kind of things. If you guys do it and it works for you, great. But I stay away from that, because like I said, I like to sleep in with a peaceful mind, knowing that I invested in good things, and knowing that that's gonna grow, whether I wait a couple months or a week or a year. I know my money is safe. What program are you using? You mean this one for it's called TradingView, for stock analysis. It's TradingView. So it's a really good program. There are a lot of them. Thinkorswim is another pretty popular one. I also have it, but I prefer this one. This one's like more colorful for me. Thinkorswim, I know a lot of the pros, the guys that do this for a living. I do it on the side. I make pretty good money on the side with this. But I don't know why the pros like Thinkorswim more. It's probably because it is connected with Charles Schwab, so they can trade. They can use the program, analyze the stock, and then trade within the program. TradingView doesn't have that option. So TradingView is just for analyzing the stock, but you have to have your broker on the side to enter into positions, to sell, and do all that trading. So, but that's the program. Nvidia pulled back to 125. Eric, I think it's it does have a lot of support there. So I mean, you're not having a crazy prediction. It also is where, as you can see, is where the 200 SMA is, which is the simple moving average for those of you guys that use this indicator. This indicator is pretty much the average for the past 200 days, and typically this average is big support for stocks. The stock was under the 200 moving average for a little while when it broke it, when they announced the tariffs. And as you guys can see, it was under the 50, under the 20, and then it broke above the 200. So I expect that if there are bad news on Saturday or Sunday, then the stock probably is gonna hit the 200 moving average. That's gonna be a good resistance point, and then from there it's gonna go up. But the first one is 130. So if there are no bad news, I do see Nvidia maybe hitting 130 on Monday because it closed at a 132 today after market. See, I'm trying to find it on my aftermarket because here it doesn't show me the aftermarket. Yeah, 132. So it closed at 132. I don't think it's crazy that it's gonna hit 130. That's another big resistance. And then if there are no more bad news, then from there, from 130, it could just rally back up because there are a lot of good news on Nvidia. There's a lot of money that Nvidia is gonna make selling the Blackwell chips to Saudi Arabia, and they just closed this deal this week. And then on top of that, they also are removing restrictions so that Nvidia can sell more chips in different countries where before they had restrictions or they needed a license to sell. They are trying to remove that license, and this is by the administration, by the Trump administration. And if that happens, then I mean, those are good news after good news after good news on a company that is predicting to make $43 billion or report $43 billion for this quarter. So imagine adding more deals to the money they're already gonna report. I mean, they're gonna I believe the earnings are gonna be great. I'm not gonna play the earnings, but I think they're gonna be great. So for Nvidia to drop that much on nothing, I really don't think so, unless there's like catalyst news or something bad happens over the weekend. Pending Mikey, follow the host. Thank you, Pending Mikey. I appreciate it, man. And if you guys can help me tapping the screen, giving the a like to this live, I would really appreciate it. My goal is to get to 10,000 views. Yesterday I did get to the 10,000 views, so I'm trying to break that record today. Every day I'm gonna try to break a record. So if you guys are taking your time for being live, thank you again for being here. And if you guys can give me a like, that's all I ask. I don't sell anything here. I do this because I really enjoy talking about the markets, and I talk with you guys and I learn about new stocks that you guys have. I enjoy doing the analysis, so I do all of this for you guys. And I also have a couple of things for beginners, a couple of books that I give out for free because they were given to me for free when I was learning. So I'm just passing it on. Okay, passing it on. So let's keep the comments coming. I would read them as soon as I can. Looking into trading, is Robinhood good for starting? Absolutely, yeah. That's where I started, and that's one of my portfolios. I use Robinhood for the swing trades. I'm trying to switch to Charles Schwab because in Robinhood you cannot short stocks. But if you're barely starting, I think Robinhood is a good option because it's very user friendly. So I wouldn't be against that. And so I can't see your name, but I'm just reading your question. So turn 2K into 34K in 3 days off Tesla. Man, Kevin, actually, I mean, I don't know how you did that. Were you trading options? Because I don't know how you would turn 2K into 34 other than doing it in options. Kevin Anderson, how exactly? Yeah, I want to know. I want to know too. Yeah, options. There you go. So I just read your comment. So options, yeah. So in options, you could make a lot of money, but I mean, you can ask who was it? Kevin. You can ask Kevin. I mean, it's dangerous. You could lose a lot of money too. I don't do options. I only do cover calls. Once I have my stocks, then I use my stocks as collateral to get to collect some premiums and makes a little bit of money. It's not 34K like Kevin, but it's a couple $100 every week that are consistent. So and there's not a lot of risk. I don't like to risk my money. I already did my first couple years and I lost a lot of money the first couple years of trading. So because of that experience, and bad experience. I'm telling you, in those 2 years, I think I aged like 10 years because I was having sleepless nights thinking about the moves I made, thinking about the mistakes I made, thinking of whether my money was safe in the stock that I put in, and a bunch of stuff was happening in my head that I could not sleep. So I took all of that learning, and for the past 3 years, I have five in total investing, and for the past 3 years, I've been doing the correct things, the right things. I've been learning a lot from a community that I'm part of, where we support each other, and I still ask questions. Whenever I'm not sure about something, I ask, and then I keep reading, I keep taking courses, and I'm just educating myself so that I can make this more consistent, more profitable, and more consistent too. Um, so yeah, so that's why I just like to not risk my money with options. But Kevin, if it's working for you, man, and you made 34K, hats off to you, man, because making 34K in a couple days, man, you should go on vacation and try not to lose it. Try not to risk that money. If it's already in your pocket, save it, invest it in something else, so that it's already in your pocket. Don't risk it again. It's like when you go to the casino and then you get a couple $1,000s, and then you go again and hit the roulette, hoping that you can get 10,000, and then you lose it all. So anyways, what did you learn about? Where did you learn about stock and reading? Is that Evie? Evie. Um, I did a lot of it reading, and then I bought a course with one of my mentors. So I bought his course. I studied, and then I went to him for questions, and then after that, I became part of his group. And in that group, again, like I said earlier, we support each other. We ask questions to each other, and we continue to read and analyze other books. So that's how I pretty much learned how to do an analysis on stocks. And there are thousands of indicators that you can use that you find online. I personally just try to keep it simple. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the guys that show their charts, like their analysis on the screen, and you see like lines going up and down, and red here and green here, and you're like, what the hell does that mean? I've seen that. I was part of that. I At first I tried to have like 10 different indicators to know when to enter a position, and it's so simple. Like when you keep things simple, it becomes so much easier to know when to enter. Okay, I'm gonna give you two things really quick, Evie. So take a look at this. This indicator at the bottom is called the RSI. The RSI tells you when a stock is oversold and when the stock is overbought, right? So oversold, overbought. If it's above this line, it's oversold. If it's below this line, it's overbought. I'm sorry, the other way. Overbought over here, oversold down here. So me personally, I look at the candles up here. If the candles, and it's a good company like Nvidia, has a lot of future, it's an AI. I know that if this stock goes below the this dotted line, it means it's oversold. Then I'm gonna buy some shares. I'm not gonna put in all my money into it. I'm gonna maybe buy 100 shares. If it goes down even lower, I'm gonna buy another 100 shares because I trust this company. I know this company has enormous potential. I did the research. I know the CEO of this company, and I know the CEO is very committed to grow this company. This is a trillion, actually $3 trillion company, and for a company like that to fail and go to zero, I mean, before this company goes to zero, all of the other companies are going to zero. The SPY is gonna drop probably 80% before this company goes to zero. So because of all of those things, I know this is a good company to invest in. So when it's oversold, I'm like, I'm just gonna buy more. I'm just gonna keep buying. And whenever it gets to this point where it's oversold, then I might sell some of my positions, take some profits. and wait it out. So anyways, I think I elaborated too much on that, but that's how I learned about stock analysis. So just keep it simple. Um, oh man, I have a lot of comments. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try to read the comments as fast as I can, not to elaborate too much on them. But if you guys can help me tapping, my goal is to get to 10,000 likes today. So if you guys can tap, I would really appreciate that. That helps me and motivates me to keep doing this. Nvidia, let's see, I don't want to skip any of the comments. So appreciate the likes, appreciate the comments, keep it coming. Let's see, Mo, Kevin Anderson, Mo. What is Mo? I know I have it. Oh, I think yesterday I was looking at that. Let's see, Mo. Is that the ticker symbol? Altria Group. Is that what it is? I'm not sure. That's the only one I can think of. Mo. What is this? Altria Group is consumer tobacco. I don't know, man. I don't know this company. I really don't know what they do. Um, so I couldn't tell you much other than the technical analysis. Right now it's at $58, so it's not looking too bad. It's a little bit far away from the 200 moving average. So because it already touched this about a month ago, and it rallied from 53 all the way to 61. I would, if I was to enter into this company, I would wait for it to touch the 200 again, and then from there, expect the stock to bounce back again. Kevin Anderson, where did you move? What move did you do when you hit it? Oh yeah, so talking about 34K, right? On this latest push. Yeah, I mean Tesla did push a big amount, based on Elon being in Saudi Arabia and trying to close some deals over there. But like I said, it's Tesla's right now. The earnings are really bad. It's all speculation on the release of the Robo Taxi. User 114877, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. EV, thank you for the follow again. Appreciate it. Keep it reals. Nvidia at 33 or 35. Well, it closed after market today. It went down to 32, so it already showed a little bit of weakness after market, but nothing to do has nothing to do with the stock. The stock is doing great. Like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of good news on Nvidia, a lot of good contracts that were signed in Saudi Arabia. The CEO was actually in Saudi Arabia, meeting all of these investors, and also they're trying to have more exposure in China. There were some news that came out this morning about them opening, I think, like a warehouse in China so that they can have more exposure. But I think it ended up being just rumor, but nothing is confirmed yet. So if it's real, that might push the stock a little bit higher. But I do see the stock. It has a lot of resistance at 135. So Nvidia, let's go back to Nvidia. So if you go to Nvidia, it's been hitting 135 for a little while. Let's see. Since it rallied, it went to 35, went down again. Then on let's see, what day was this? On Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then today also at 35, and it could not break that resistance. So I'm expecting Nvidia to break this resistance if there are good news next week. If they have a catalyst news, like the deals with India, or deals with Japan, or deals with Vietnam, one of those countries, and then that's going to move the stock up, and it has a lot of room until 140, 142, 43, somewhere around that area. So it's gonna once it hits 140, 142, 143, it'll hit another resistance. In my opinion, again, I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I think it's gonna stay somewhere around there and then maybe drop and then just be choppy until they have earnings on the 28th, which is about a week and a half from now. So if that happens, I'm planning to exit out. I have Nvidia, so I plan to exit out and just leave that stock, because I don't like to play earnings. I mainly day trade futures. Have been day trading for a while. Good job, man. Good job, Kevin. So I hope I started day trading because I'm not in front of the computer all day. You know, that's tough for me. So I prefer to do swing trading. It just works out better for me. And like I said, you know, it doesn't make me stay in front of the monitor, you know, all day. I still try day trading every now and then, but I prefer swing trading. I am trying to build up my trading account. Keep it reals. Are you? What are you investing on, man? Are you doing short term, long term? Like, what kind of investing do you want to do, or trading, or you just want to trade? Uh, Rose Buckle. I've invested in Nvidia. Should I just stop worrying and forget about it for a few years? I mean, if you're doing long term, you're planning not to collect any money. I mean, Nvidia, in my opinion, will be $1,000 stock in by 2030. By 2030, I believe Nvidia is gonna continue to grow, just because nobody else competes against Nvidia other than AMD. Okay, AMD is another chip company, but they were down trading for the whole past year because Nvidia was crushing them, and Nvidia, they release new chips every year that are more efficient. Now, this administration, the Trump administration, is trying to be more energy efficient. So, if Nvidia is the biggest company and they are making chips that make energy more efficient, I mean, just add those two, right? Government wants energy to be more efficient. Nvidia is selling the product that makes energy more efficient, right? And then on top of that, I mean, they're selling the product that creates AI. Nvidia partners up with or has customers like Amazon, which is another big company, Google, Microsoft, Meta, and they all of these guys buy chips from Nvidia. So I believe it will go up. So if you're investing, Rose, and you're not gonna look at it at this stock in 10 years, I think your money is going to grow and exponentially. So that's my opinion. Where did you learn about stock analysis? Okay, I think I answered that question, right, Evie? Or I don't know if I'm going back to the same question, but um, where did I learn? Um, so I have a mentor, like I mentioned earlier. He sells a course, and I bought it and I studied under his mentorship. Then I took a couple courses on my own, and then I bought a couple books. I have one PDF book that if you're starting, you know nothing about the stocks and terminology, that's a good start point. So if you're interested in having that book, just let me know. I'll send it to you for free. I'm not here to sell anything. I got that book for free in the community that I'm in. Where we have a lot of traders that share information. We don't share like what to buy or what to sell. That's not the type of community. We just share knowledge, right? We educate each other, and that's the community that I'm in. And we share a lot of materials like the one I told you. So if you're interested, send me a message on TikTok, and I'll share that PDF with you so you can get started on reading about the candles and analysis, and that'll give you a really good insight. So if you're interested, let me know. I'll send it to you, and then you can go from there. Can you invest in Yahoo Finance? Like you mean Osh I'm gonna call you Osh Awesome. Can you invest in Yahoo Finance? Do you mean like using Yahoo Finance? Yahoo Finance is just it's just another tool to analyze stocks, uh, but you can't use Yahoo Finance to invest. Would you buy Nvidia with 135? What Shada? You mean like at 135? Like if it gets to 135, would I buy it? No, I wouldn't buy it at 135. Just because I already bought it at 193 and about 110, 120. So I was buying on the way down and a little bit on the way up, and my average is about 110. So I'm already up on this stock. So I don't want to buy at 135 when I know I'm gonna exit out of this position at 140. So because it'll be just like $5 uh, if I buy it more. So no, I wouldn't really buy it at 135. So yeah, it's definitely tough. It took me years to learn, but if you grind it, you can do it. Absolutely, Kevin. Yeah, options are could be terrifying. for now, I prefer to stay with stocks. But maybe one day, I'm thinking about a course that a guy called Cardone, um, not the guy that you guys probably see on YouTube. It's a different Cardone. He has a course on options, so I'm considering taking that this summer. Not because I want to do it, but just because I want to learn it, so that maybe I can relate more to what you guys share with me. Kevin Anderson, I have been trading for years. Awesome, man. So you're just trading. You're not investing, right? Keep it reals. What stocks do you do cover calls for? Cabrera. I just did a cover call for Nvidia this last week. My strike price was at 140. It didn't get filled because Nvidia I think capped at 136.50. So I just collected my premium and I just made about 600-700 bucks on the cover call. So I might do another one this coming week. Depends on how the market is on Monday, Tuesday. I might do one for Friday, and again, my strike price is gonna be about 140, 142. So we'll see. We'll see if it fills. Um, Damn, I have a lot of comments. Guys, if you guys can help me with that'll be great. Again, I'm trying to get through all the comments as soon as I can. I'm gonna try to do a little faster without elaborating too much, so that I can get to all of you guys and keep up with the comments. But if you guys give me a like, that motivates me. That motivates also the grow the TikTok live, and motivates me to keep doing this every night from 9 to 11, Monday through Friday. So Monday through Friday, you're gonna find me here doing a little bit of this live and chatting with you guys, and appreciate you guys being here and taking some of your time to drop some comments and keep the conversations going. So awesome. Thank you guys. Um, so what stock do you keep? How has it been so far? Where'd you learn to stock trading? I talked about this. Evie, I took a course from the guy that is now my mentor. I belong to a community where we share information, and I took some courses on the site also, some online. Thank you, Kevin Anderson. Build dividend portfolio with the profit I get from buying and selling stocks. Oh, like with the dividends? So buying a portfolio with dividends? That's not a bad idea. I mean, it depends how much money you have in stocks, because some stocks they only pay like 1% dividend, so that's not a lot to invest in a different portfolio. In the long term, I think it's great. Sander, Google, man, Google was rallying earlier today. I know. I mean, as you can see in the chart, it hit about 160. Oh, it went up to 169. I have some Google. I'm not exiting out of my position until it hits about 170, which I think it's gonna do it pretty soon. Um, Once it hits the 200-day moving average, I think it's just gonna bounce back a little bit and maybe reclaim it and break it, or break it. I'm sorry, not reclaim it, but hit it again and break it, because the only thing that sent Google down last week was that I think iPhone or Apple, they mentioned that they're gonna stop using Google as the search default on their iPhones. You know, when you have your iPhone and you go to Google, it's usually the default browser. So on Safari, so they said that they might move away from Google and use their own AI. And that's what sent Google down to like 150, I think, which is where I enter into some positions around 150. And ever since, I mean, it you see this big red candle. That's when those news happen. When Apple announced that they were gonna remove Google from their browser, and then ever since, I mean, it continued to go up. But Google had good earnings when they reported a couple weeks ago. So there's nothing wrong with Google other than those bad news. I don't think Apple is gonna get rid of Google now. I think they just had to mention that, but I think it's gonna continue to create revenue, and in the meantime, they're probably gonna come up with a plan and to make up with that revenue. But I mean, Google makes billions of dollars. They own YouTube. So if you guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure 90% of people in the live right now, um, you probably watch YouTube at least once a day, and you watch ads, and Google makes money off of those ads. So I think Google's here to stay. Nothing wrong with Google. other than those bad news that happened a couple weeks ago or last week. I'm sorry. To Google. Would you mind if we know your mentor name? Alejandro. That's his name. You probably he does some lives every now and then. I watch his lives. I watch his he's the news that he gives us every day. So that's his name. But he's not like a big TikToker or anything. He's invested in the market, and that's where he gets the money from. He doesn't really need to do like lives and stuff like that because he makes pretty good money on the market. Cool. I want to learn. What books do you recommend? Evie, I would start with the one I mentioned earlier. It's on the Japanese candles, knowing how to what the candles mean, what the patterns are, and then on top of that, that book teaches you a little bit on what indicators help you read where the stock is going to go, connected with knowing how to read the candles. So if you are interested in that PDF book, send me a message. I'll give it to you for free. I'll probably just need your email address so that I can send it to your email address. But I can give it to you for free. It was given to me for free, so I have no need to charge for that. I started 1 month ago with day trading on Robinhood. I finally learned not to overreact, good or bad. The one and only one. You started a month ago, so only 1 month ago. And you're day trading, man. All I'm gonna say is, I mean, you might be totally different than the rest of us, but learning to trade, especially day trading, it takes years. It takes years to be consistent. Because if you have earned some money, I mean, good for you, and I'm happy for you. But to be consistent and make sure that you make more money than the one you lose, because day trading, every single day trader loses money. No, they earn money, but they also lose money because not all the trades are perfect. And there's a lot of risk with day trading because you don't know what news are gonna come out the next minute that are gonna send the stock down when you bought it thinking that it was gonna go higher. So doing day trading is pretty dangerous, especially if you are starting. So watch out, the one and only. Be careful if you're just started and barely a month ago. Keep studying, keep reading, do some paper trading. Some of the tools, some tools online allow you to paper trade and practice day trading. So do a lot of practice before you invest some heavy money and lose some of that money. Telling you from personal experience, man. Nothing against what you do. I really hope that you make a lot of money, but just be careful on that. Nvidia pulled back to 125. I talked about that earlier, Eric. I don't think it's gonna go to 125 unless there are bad news. Because remember, Nvidia has a really good news, and has had good news for the past week and a half. A lot of contracts, a lot of money that's gonna come into Nvidia's pocket. So it needs bad news to drop to 125. I think the next resistance, because of the news that came out today, which I talked about that at the beginning of the live, of Moody downgrading pretty much the United States credit. That sent all the stocks down after the market closed, and it sent down Nvidia to 132. I think it might hit 130 and stay there for a little. And if there are more good news, then that's gonna push Nvidia back to 135. But if there are bad news of something else, including Nvidia, then it might drop to 125, which is another one of the supports at this point. What do you think about Tempest AI? Tempest AI, I haven't looked at that in a while. I honestly, I mean, if you are investing, see, if you're investing in stocks that are connected to AI, I mean, why not do it with companies that are very strong like Nvidia? Like, why try to go to someone that is competing against Nvidia, and hope that they do better than Nvidia? I'm not sure exactly what Tempus AI. It's a technology package software. I'm not sure exactly what services they offer. I don't trade this stock. I heard of it, but I don't really trade this stock. but on the analysis, on the technical analysis, it's got a high of $90 back in February, and it dumped. It did a higher high. It just broke that. I'm sorry, a higher low, and then it broke that resistance, and now it's trying to get back up to that same level. Which, let's see, I don't see. I mean, right now it's hitting the resistance from back in February. So it hit that resistance, rejected, went back, and as of now, it's far away from the SMAs. So I would try to see if it reclaims some of the SMAs, either the 20 or the 50, and then from there, just wait to see it bounces back. Um, is scammers. The devil wants that company. Not sure what you're trying to say, Adrian. Jacoya, thank you for the follow. NAT4, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. The Cooker, appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for the follow, and thank you for the likes as well. If you guys can help me with the taps, I'm trying to break the record from yesterday, which was at 10,000 likes. I'm trying to hit, something above 10,000. So every day I'm gonna try to break. Let me lower this. I'm gonna try to break the record of lives every day. So appreciate it. Appreciate it. Simple that way they don't know you're being scammed. It's the devil for you. I don't know. I don't know if you're trying to say that I'm trying to scam people. I don't know if that's what that means. But definitely not, man. I'm just here to talk to people about the stocks, and if they need some help with starting investing, I have a couple of books, PDFs, that I can give out for free. So next week about to be all free, like free fall, red, Moy, could be, could be. If you're talking about the news that came out today about the Moody downgrading the United States credit, um, I I don't think that those are bad news that are going to affect the market that much, because think about this: the market already knew that the United States are deeply in debt. They already knew that. I mean, it's if you knew that, and I knew that, then Wall Street knew that years ago, years before you and I knew that. So I don't think that's gonna affect the market much, because it's been known. The only thing is that now they released an article by this credit rating agency, and they released that and said it, out loud. Hey, the United States is in debt. We probably can lend you more money because you have 34, 35 trillion in debt. And because they announced it, then obviously that affected the market. But the market has known that information for a very long time. So I think it was just like the perfect excuse to give the market that pullback that was much needed, because it had been running up for a few days. And I mean, you guys know that the markets don't go up and up without getting some pullbacks. Healthy markets go up and go down and up and down, and ideally you want every time that it makes a green candle to be higher than the previous green candle, no, a higher high, which is what we know it for. So those are how the markets work. Those are um, healthy stocks, the ones that move up and down, move up and down. There are no stocks that are good. I'm sorry, there are no stocks that keep moving up unless it's a stock that it's a meme stock. What's that stock, DJT, the social media that Trump has. I mean, that stock just goes up on nothing. It just moves green, like $20 green, um, for no reason. That's a meme stock, because you don't know how it's gonna go down, or why it's going down, or why it's going up. It just happens to go up, and there are no technical analysis for those kind of stocks. So, anyways, let me keep reading some of the comments and try to complete all of these. So far, I made 1,000 within the first month. The one and only. Because you're day trading. Awesome, man. Protect your gains. Protect your gains. If it's working out for you, I mean, you might be one of the few people who understand this and in a very short period of time. But I'm telling you, there are, day traders that have been in the business for 10 years, 20 years, and they lose money all the time. They lose money all the time because that's what day trading is. You never know what's going to happen next. So, just keep educating yourself and try to maintain your gains. You use new exo penny, you're gonna reap it. Let's see, keep reading. DTT. EV. I don't know what is that. DTT. I'll look it up in a minute. Could you look at Tempus AI? Yeah, I did. I think this is the one. I just talked about it. I just said, it's hitting an old resistance from back in February. So if I mark it here, you can see it right there. That's the resistance from January of this year. It hit it again right there. So, and it's pulled back from the SMAs. Usually when stocks move far away or far up from the SMAs, they usually tend to go down and reclaim either the 20 or the 50. So in this case, they're all almost together. So, if I was to enter one of these stocks, I would wait to hit one of the SMAs and then see how it reacts to it, whether it reclaims and moves up, or breaks it and goes down. So, see, how do you see after market? Well, after market, I have Robinhood on my app, and they give me the price after market. In the stock, let's see, if I do the 4 hour, I think you can see it too. Let's see, if Nvidia. Yeah, so it depends. If you look at a different time frame, and this was keep it reals. If I look at the 4 hour chart, which is another one of the time frames that I look at to know where the stocks are. The dailies are like my main ones. I look at the dailies just to know, how the candles are closing. But if I want to look more into detail, then I narrow it down and close it to the 4 hour time frame. And in the 4 hour time frame, I do get the aftermarket. So in this case, as you can see, Nvidia close aftermarket. So I don't know if you guys, oops, and try to do that. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen. So this the column that is not highlighted, this part here, you guys see the deep or the black in the background. This is the day, right? This is what happened in the last 4 hours. Then the blue is the aftermarket. So the aftermarket, the stock closed at 135.40, and then aftermarket, which is the blue, went from 135.40 all the way to 132, and that's how I see the aftermarket. But I also see it on my app on Robinhood, as you guys can see. That's, I have it on my phone. But I can see it here. But because I was looking at the daily, it wouldn't show me the aftermarket. See, are you trading, Marcus? Am I trading? Like, do I don't day trade. If I don't know if that's what you mean. I swing trade. I used to day trade before, but I like swing trading more. Let's see, trying to get best stocks cover for calls. Best stocks for cover calls. Cabrera trades. I I mean, any stock that is one of the Max 7, I think it's good for cover calls, because your money will be secured. Your money will be safe, because all of these are great companies. So, but again, you got to do your own research and know, what company you trust, your money in. Options, keep it reals. I don't do options like I mentioned earlier. I do cover calls, but that's trading with my own stocks. What do you think when China's AI is always beating Nvidia? Shada, you mean like what's it called? The DeepSeek that was released in China. I think that's what it was. The only thing that I read when that happened. Oh yeah, you have the example DeepSeek. Yeah. So I just read your next comment. It's not. I mean, the news that came out, it said that it was beating Nvidia because it cost less, it costs less to create these AI training programs. And Nvidia spends like millions of dollars training their AI models, and DeepSeek cost like $10,000. So that was like a huge difference, and that's what made Nvidia drop back in when the news came out. I think it was back in February. Um, but I mean, turns out that DeepSeek uses Nvidia's chips, and and then when they released the news, all I remember from a couple months ago is that they said that they spent $10,000 training the AI model to create DeepSeek, but they never proved that that's actually how much money they spent. So it was kind of like one of those buy the what is it, buy the rumor, sell the news. It was just kind of like a rumor, and it kind of died down, and now they haven't released any details about DeepSeek. So, I mean, in my opinion, Nvidia is still leading, and it has a lot of strong partners. So, and DeepSeek, I mean, I haven't heard any news of DeepSeek, so I think it was just one of those things that you hear to kind of drop the stock. Best AI stock, Nvidia, Tanix. Nvidia is one of the best companies that sell chips that make the AI. So Nvidia will be number one for me. I want to learn. Please send me the free book. Evie, yeah, just send me an email. I'll send you the book. Julie, hey Julie. Julie actually she received the book. I gave it to her. I don't know if you have had the chance, Julie, to look at it. I hope you like it. I really enjoyed that book because it makes things very clearly, and it has a lot of pictures, and there are some pages where you can kind of try the strategies. So it'll give you like a question, and ask what you think. Um, so I hope you like it. But yeah, I'll send it to you, Evie. Just as soon as I finish the live, I'll send it to you. And guys, if you guys can help me with the tap, I'm trying to get to break the record of 10,000 likes. So if you guys help me by tapping the screen, I would much appreciate it. Again, it just motivates me to keep doing this and sharing information with you guys. I'm gonna be doing this every day, Monday through Friday from 9 to 11. So if you guys join lives, I'll still be sharing a lot of information with you guys. Um, I am in a group where we have, let's call it privileged information, because the person that created that group, he pays a lot of money to receive news before anybody else finds out. At the time I started the lives, I mean, the news are old news, but still, I like to discuss those news so that we know what to expect the next day. So again, I appreciate it, and if you guys can give me a like, I would really like that, and wanting to break a record of 10,000 likes that I received yesterday. So appreciate it. Bremies sent a rose. Thank you for the rose, Bremies. I appreciate it. Can you do weekly? Can you do weekly or monthlies, like the time frames? Yeah, I mean, I look at weeklies and monthlies, but again, um, my day is my daily candles are the ones that I rely on the most. Unless I don't see something clearly, then I look at the monthly and weekly. What is your analysis for Nvidia this upcoming week? I talked about it a little bit, Mundo. Um, I think that Nvidia has really good news. If you kept up with the news, they have a lot of contracts that they made in Saudi Arabia. So the CEO was there, and he actually closed a lot of deals with Saudi Arabia. I think it was an investment of 18,000 Blackwell chips. So that's gonna create a lot of revenue for Nvidia, and then on top of that, restrictions are going to be removed so that Nvidia can sell chips in other countries where previously they had restrictions, or they needed a license to sell some of their chips. So that is just pumping the market, and that's why it went from like 118 to 136 this past week, or today actually. It also hit 136. So that's what I think for Nvidia for this upcoming week. If there are no more bad news, I think it's just gonna hit 136 again and finally break that resistance and go to 140. That's what I think, uh, unless there are bad news. If there are bad news on something, I do see the Nvidia going down to 125, which has another big resistance there, 130 and then 125. Uh, see DT. Uh, what is this? What is it, Alejandro? What's his TikTok? Shada? Uh, I don't, I don't know it. I know he uses some kind of he doesn't use his name, but I'll share it to you. If you send me a message, I'll share it with you. Could you look at Tempest AI? I think we looked at that earlier. All I said is just based on the technicals. Let's see, we could look right there. We talked about the resistances. So it hit an old resistance, went back down. It's a little bit away from the SMA. So I wouldn't buy if it was me. I wouldn't buy there just because I don't know if it's gonna hit resistance and reject it again, and I'd be risking my money because there's not a lot of room for profit. Could you? This is Was a book confusing for you in the beginning? It is to me. Um, it was. I mean, when I started, it was. If it was me, I would try it because the book starts to talk about the candles, right, Julie? It tells you to understand the candles, right? What a green candle is, what the little tails that you see right there, what they mean, and then it explains also the red candles, what they mean. So it started with some of the basics. I don't know if that's the confusing part to you. Um, Eventually, I'll do some videos on TikTok to kind of explain that, and hopefully that clarifies a couple of your things. So, and that's actually giving me an idea. I might do a video soon on my profile on TikTok. So if you guys haven't checked some of the latest videos, I'm creating a lot of videos on the news that come out every day. So if you guys want to stay up with the news and what's going on in the market, hit a follow, and I will be sharing those videos early in the morning so you guys know what to expect during the day. Let's see. Keeping just still reading the comments. What book? User 3517. I have a book. It's a PDF book that I received. I have a lot of them. I have a lot of books that I receive in my community. We share a lot of knowledge to each other. It's a community where we help each other out. We educate ourselves, and if there's something that I don't know, I ask someone, and they usually share books that they have read that helps them in that topic that I'm not an expert in, and I receive a lot of these PDFs and books, and they give them to me for free, and I recommend them to other people that are trying to learn about the market, because when I started, nobody helped me, and I had at the beginning I had to kind of educate myself until I found people that could help me, and I took some courses and became part of a community, the community that I'm telling you about, and then started to share more knowledge, and so that's basically how I started. So I like to give that out for free. So if you guys are interested, I can send you that PDF. Just send me a message on TikTok, and I'll share it. If not today, because it's late, I'll probably share it tomorrow morning. So as long as I get the message, I'll send it to you. The Candlestick Trading Bible. Yep, that's what it is, Julie. The Bible, the Bible of trading. What do you think about DT EV? Let's see, DT. What is DT? I don't even know what that is. Or I maybe do. I don't really memorize the ticker symbols. That's just me. I don't know why. DT Dynatrace Inc. Package software. I don't know the company, Dina, but I can really take a look at the technicals and tell you from there. Um, so let's see. I look and see how the weeklies. I like to look at bigger time frames when there are companies that I don't know about, just because I like to look at the history of the stock. So this stock has a high of 74, 79, and then has a lower high of 61, lower low 40, lower high 62, and then 40. So it's been choppy. Who asked me that question? That was Evie. It's been choppy since January of 2024. I mean, you could see here in the chart, it hits a max of $60, about $60, and a minimum of about 40, and then it keeps going just back and forth. So with these kind of stocks, I mean, you could figure it out, right? Make it simple. Your earnings or your profits could be limited, because if it's been hitting this resistance for a while, I mean, for more than a year now, like here resistance and here support, and it's been choppy like this. A lot of traders, they don't really enter into these positions with a stock like this, just because the room for gains is very limited. So that's what I believe too. So because it has that range, unless you catch it here at the bottom and know that it's gonna hit somewhere around 61, then maybe I could enter it into a position. But as you can see, it's this is after, because I'm looking at the weekly chart. If you look at the daily, and the daily probably doesn't move very much. Even if you enter here, I mean, you spend a couple of days just earning like $1-2, and it goes down. So not a lot of room to trade, especially if you're day trading. Um, so that's what I think about that. Let's see. Trying to get to all the comments. So I got Nvidia, I got Evie with that comment. Good night. I'd love to get a link for your PDFs, please. Bremis, absolutely. Just send me a message. I'll probably ask for your email so that I can send it there, because it's a PDF. I don't think it's a big file. It's like 6 MB file, but it still works better with an email. So just send me an email. I'll send it to you. I'll share it. I already shared it with a few people for the past couple of days. So if you're interested, I'll send it to you. That will be a good start to start reading about the basics of how to read candlesticks, how to look at patterns, and also what are good indicators that can go along with the patterns of the candlesticks. So, why are you using RSI? Learn ICP concepts indicators are the worst. What? ICT concepts? M. Uh, I retail trader mindset. I mean, I am a retail trader. I'm not an institution. So I trade with my own money. I like to keep things simple, and I like to not risk my money. So that's why I use the basic trading patterns. I like to I like my gains to be consistent, and I mean, they might not be big gains, but hey, if I'm making this on the side, I'm happy with that. Thank you. I like your content. I will join you Monday. Shada, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Hope to see you here again on Monday. And again, guys, if you guys can tap the screen, we're almost at my record high of likes, which is about 10,000. So I like to break that resistance of likes. If you guys can help me tapping the screen, giving me a like, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Followed. M1, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Ferric, thank you for the follow as well. I love when you guys follow me, because again, it's another big motivation to continue doing this. And I hope that I can help. The whole point of me being here and doing these the lives here at night is to share some of the stuff that I've learned over the years, and also to help people that maybe like me did not have anyone to kind of guide them and get them started, right? I honestly, when I started, I didn't know where to turn, who to trust, because you have a lot of guys on TikTok that say, click on my bio and go to my link, and you only pay $15 a month, or I have a course at $300, and you're gonna learn so much. I had a lot of that, and I trusted a lot of people, and I bought some courses that were trash, hoping that, because at first when I started, I wanted to follow someone that would tell me when to enter into trades and when to come out, or get out of trades, and that was my mistake number one, to try to do that, because that's not consistent, and the goals of that person trading are different than the goals I have. The money that that person has and the room to lose money is different than the room I have to lose my money, right? So that's why, if you guys are here and try to do that with someone else and copy trades, never do that. Never do that. And if a guy tries to sell you with, buy my course and you can follow my trades, I'll tell you when to enter, when to exit. I mean, you're putting your money in the hands of somebody else that might have a lot of room for a loss, and you don't. Okay, so food for thought. Just think about that. I know it kind of sounds easy, the easy way out to do that, and just follow and copy trades. But again, I mean, your losses could be much bigger than their losses because they have that room to lose that kind of money. Um, I'm liking it, but it's kind of confusing. Yeah, I mean, at first the terminology, especially, it's gonna be a little bit confusing, Julie. So just hang in there. You know, keep watching. Not only my videos. I mean, if you watch me, that's great. I'd really appreciate it. But if you watch somebody else or watch some YouTube videos, there's so much information out there, and take it one thing at a time. If you don't know what a candle is, just focus on that. Focus on okay, what is a candle? A candlestick. You know what does the little tail mean? You know what is the red candle? Why is this candle above the green candle? You know, like the ones you see here on this chart. Like why is one higher than the other one? You know, why is there that different candles look different when you click on different time frames? Like right now I'm looking at the daily time frame, which means that every one of these candles is 1 day of trading. But when I click on the 4 hour, there are definitely more candles, you know, and there's a lot more noise, which means that because we have more candles, we have a lot of candles that go up, we have a lot of candles that go up, we have a lot of candles that just stay flat. So just start with one concept at a time, you know, and take it step by step. And the more videos you watch, the more you watch lives like this one, um, the more you're gonna understand, and then you're gonna move on to the second thing. Um, Fake news. What it was AI foo. Yeah. So fake news with the DeepSeek. Adrian, is that what you mean? Um, yeah, I definitely think. They're all going down. Gold is real. Crypto creeps. Gold. Yeah, gold went up. It was. I think it was at record high. Quit saying names. Monopoly is a real game. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, Adrian. I think you kind of lost me there. Uh, I recently received an email from Two Step. They're moving into live accounts soon. Okay, I'm not really sure how to answer that. One gorilla, 100 men who wins. I heard about that one. Can you do sell? Yup cabbage. Absolutely. Let's look at sell. I was invested in sell, and I sold out of my position because I kind of panicked a little bit. This was just one of those trades that I do speculating to see if sell moves up. It's just money that I put in there, and if I lose it, I lose it. Um, so, um, so I got out of the position. But sell, it was looking pretty bad a few months ago. I think it was back in. Let's see. Let me look at the daily one. So this is where I got out of the trade. Let's see. Where did it drop to 20? I think it was back in February. So back in February, sell hit about 20 low, but then they announced that they bought a company. I forgot the name of the company. They bought a company, and that pushed the stock up, and it's been trading in that area about 39 max, and then going down to 30, as you can see here, 32. So 32 and 40 max. It has some resistance. Let's see. It has some resistance at $40, so about $41, and right now it's at 39. So if you're planning to enter into sell, just know that your room for gains might be just a couple dollars before it rejects again, unless there are really good news and they buy another company or something like that. But keep in mind that their earnings were not great. They reported earnings back in May 6th, so last week, and their earnings, they were not great. They lost EPS, they lost revenue, and actually by 13 million. So the revenues were not great, and that's why the stock dropped a little bit. And right now it's up again on bad revenues. I'll be very careful on that. So if you're putting your money in there, just know there's not a lot of room, to move up, because there are no good news about sell, and it has a lot of room down. So careful on that. What are your expectations for Bitcoin? Dorito Eater. I really don't trade Bitcoin. I can give you just what I think about it, but I don't trade Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just one of those things that don't sell anything, and because they don't sell anything, they don't have earnings, they don't have analysis that you can look at, they don't have fundamentals, and that's gambling, right? That's gambling on Bitcoin, hoping that if you buy at 100,000, I think it is 100,000 right now, isn't it? Um, I don't even have it here. So Bitcoin. I don't even know what the ticker symbol is. The ticker symbol just B. I don't even know what the ticker symbol is for Bitcoin. I mean, that's how much I am disconnected from cryptocurrencies. Again, because Bitcoin doesn't sell anything, I don't trade it. You're just based on somebody else paying for the Bitcoin that you paid for. So Evie, gotta go. See you again soon. Thank you, Evie. Thank you for stopping by. And again, I'll be here Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. If you want to join us next week, that'll be great. And that way you can continue, learning a little bit more about the stocks, and hopefully, I can be of some help and some service to you on getting you started on this world of investing. So have a great night. Thank you. BTC, Strifey, thank you for the ticker symbol. Let's see, BTC. You're right. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that. Bitcoin. So let's put it on because a lot of people ask about that. So you see, it's at 103,000. It's been hitting that resistance for a while. 103, 104. I think the max it was like 120, 110, and that was back in January. So those are the record highs, and I mean, right now there's nothing stopping Bitcoin other than the bad news that were released after the market today, and that's probably why it dumped a little bit after market. There are no other news about Bitcoin, but like I said, I don't really trade Bitcoin. Let's see which owner of Bitcoin. Gold. Adrian says gold. He likes gold. Gold has been going up for a little while. I think it took a dip not that long ago. So but it works vice versa, right? Opposite. If stocks go up, gold goes down. If stocks go down, golds go up, because a lot of the investors, they move their money into gold because it's a more secure investment. So if there's a lot of uncertainty because of the tariffs, that happened a month ago, if there's uncertainty on stocks, then a lot of the big investors, the all of these people that manage millions of dollars in portfolios, they move the money into gold because gold is more consistent, more secure, and they can keep the investment growing at a smaller percentage, but it's still growing, rather than leaving it in stocks that might go down for the next 6 months. So they move the money into gold. That's why it works the opposite, right? Again, stocks go up, gold goes down, gold goes up, stocks go down. So rare. It's very rare when both of them move at the same time. So just keep that in mind. I'd be careful investing in gold, stocks, ETFs. I'd be best to hold physical gold. The reader eater, yeah. Uh, true. How do you pick which stocks to trade? User 5886. I try to stay within the magnificent seven. I don't know what's I was having a hard time saying that. The Max 7. I'll say the Max 7 just to make it easier. The Max 7, which are the seven most powerful companies of the S&P 500 in the stock market. So the Microsoft, the Amazon, the Google, the Nvidia, the Apple, the Meta, the Tesla, those are the great stocks. Now, out of all of these, I mean, I analyze those stocks and I see which ones are doing okay, which ones have a lot of plans for the future, and that's how I narrow it down. But of course, I mean, there are many more stocks that are great other than the Max 7. Like, let's see, I have, where's Costco? I'm looking for Costco. Costco is like one of the most expensive stocks right there. Costco is great. I mean, if you invest in Costco, you're not going to lose your money because people always go to Costco. right? And people will continue to buy the membership just to go to Costco. So when you look at things like that, Costco doesn't have plans to, to release something that's gonna make the stock skyrocket. But Costco is consistent because it has consistent revenue. Every time they report good gains, except for this last time. I think when they reported last time, they lost on EPS by like 0.72 cents, which is nothing. I mean, it's a very minimal loss, but they reported better earnings, so better revenue. So I mean, when they report, they usually have pretty good earnings. So it's a very consistent stock. So that's how I decide and which one is worth my time and my money. Which stock has a bright future and is consistent, bringing in revenue. Um, so I hope I was able to answer your question, user 5886. HR 102 says HR. Not sure what that means, man. Gotta go. See you again. Yeah, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 103.4. Yeah, HR. Yep, absolutely. 103.4. And BTC is a ticker. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for that, guys. Thank you for sharing that. If you guys can help me with the tabs, that'd be great. I am almost at 11K likes. So I broke the record from yesterday. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being part of that breaking resistance. So keep the likes coming. I'm gonna be here for the next probably 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna close the live. So any last minute questions that you guys have, bring them, put them in the comments, and then I'll try to get to them before we leave. So how about ETF, James? Like what do you mean about ETF? Like what ETF is better? Is that what you're talking? If that's the question, I have the ETFs here at the top. I have the SPY, I have the QQQs, the VOOs, the VTI. All of these are part of the S&P 500. So most of these are kind of the same. It all depends on how the volatility is. The QQQ is the one that's different, but because that one only or focuses more on the technology companies like the Nvidia, the Microsoft, Apple, and but it's also more volatile. So if you're investing on ETFs for the long term, then and depends also on your age. QQQ is better or is best if you're younger. If you're like 20, 25, 30, even 35, QQQ is great. Why do I say that? Because QQQ moves very aggressively to the upside or to the downside. It moves more aggressively than the S&P 500. If the S&P 500 loses, let's say $5, it goes down $5. The QQQ tends to move $10. So about double of the what the SPY moves, or what the SPY loses. Same thing with earnings. If a SPY earns $5 more on the stock, then the QQQ moves about 10, and that is because it is more volatile. So if you invest in this when you're young, then by the time you're 60, um, then it's not gonna matter, right? Because even if the stock goes up or down in big chunks, it's not gonna matter to you because you're not looking at this stock up until you're 60 or 65. Um, and if you invest in QQQ by the time you're 50 and you want to cash out, let's say in 5 years, by the time you want to cash out, it might be in the down spot. It might have lost a few bucks by the time you want to retire at 55 or 60. So because QQQ is more volatile, I would invest in it if you were younger. Now, if you will still want to be exposed, I would try to put a little bit less on QQQ, excuse me, and more on SPY as you get older, right? So when you're younger, more in QQQ, less in SPY. As you get older, more in SPY, which is the S&P 500, and then less on QQQ. Again, because of the volatility. um, let's see. Let's end up with a few of the last comments, and then we're leaving. And again, guys, if you can help me with tapping the screen and giving this live a like, really appreciate it. That is what keeps me going with the lives during the week, 9 to 11. If you guys would like to join us during the week, Monday through Friday, I will be here and answering questions about the stock market and sharing news with you guys as well. Tesla is better, like better than an ETF. I don't know, man. Tesla definitely has a lot of potential, but Tesla is one of the most volatile out of the seven stocks that you see here, the Max Seven. Tesla is the most volatile. I mean, Tesla moved 25% in a week. That's crazy for a stock that is as big as Tesla and moved 25% in 1 week. Um, I mean, it's if you invest in Tesla now, it might drop those 25% next week. So, so for the short term, it's very dangerous. For the long term, has a lot of plans. It might perform better than an ETF, but why would you risk putting all your money into Tesla when you can put it in the ETF that is more secure, and more conservative in the long term? Amazon. Check Amazon. That is Najar. Najar. Amazon. Yeah. Why not? Let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon has a big resistance at around 214. You probably saw that or noticed that last week. It hit 114 on see Monday. On Monday, it hit 214. Not 114. 214. And it rejected. I mean, you can see this daily candle. It almost made like a gravestone candle, and those are big signs of rejection and big signs that the next day is going to be a red day, which is exactly what happened right there. Okay, because of this candle is telling you with this wick right there, it's longer, right? I don't know if you guys can see it. Sorry, need to make it bigger, right there. So this wick is longer, and this position open here and close like barely, like a couple cents above it. But the longer wick of this candle is telling me that the price was rejected all the way up here at 215, right? And it went down all the way down to 211. So it rejected that resistance. That was an easy way to read that the next day was going to be a red day. But I mean, Amazon is doing pretty good. They had amazing earnings last time they reported. The only thing that's keeping Amazon down is the 90-day pause on tariffs with China. And if nothing gets resolved or nothing is written on paper on that deal with China, then Amazon is gonna stay within within that position. Probably gonna hit the SMA 200 and then keep going, moving up to 214 and down and up until we have news on what the tariffs are, how the tariffs are going to affect the products that Amazon sells. So that's my thought on Amazon. Najar, follow the whole. Thank you for the follow, Najar. Appreciate it. I'm stuck in Amazon at 206. I mean, I'm stuck in Amazon at 210. I bought it on the way down. I bought some on the dip on my long term portfolio. I'm not down too much. I mean, I was just trying to get a little bit exposed on Amazon. I think it'll hit again 214. Amazon is a great company. Is one of those strong companies, and if you're investing in Amazon, congratulations to you, because that is one of the companies that, even if it takes a month or two, or maybe a few more months, Amazon has your money guaranteed because it's a strong company. Good it has good fundamentals. It has a great CEO, and it has a lot of plans for the future. I mean, I'm pretty sure you read about the robot that's delivering packages. Imagine if that's the future of Amazon. You know, lowering cost for employees, having more robots, having more of this new technology, which is AI. So definitely has a lot of plans for the future. So I wouldn't worry too much about Amazon. So if you're invested and your average is 206, I mean, you're not far off, man. I'm pretty sure it's gonna hit 214 and break that resistance, within a couple months. James AU TQQQ. That's when you're short the QQQ. So I mean, if you're playing TQQQ, is because you're planning that technology is probably gonna drop next week. So I only do TQQQ when I know there are bad news on technology. Like when they announced the DeepSeek, I bought a little bit of TQQ. Um, but other than that, I really don't trade that. Um, I like it times three. Veronica, good information. Thank you, Veronica. Appreciate it. And again, guys, if you guys can help me with tap tap, I'll be ending the live pretty soon. So I'm just getting to the last questions. And before you guys leave, I'd like to leave you with a quote. I was reading some quotes today on some letters that Warren Buffett writes, and hopefully those quotes can give you a little bit of insight about the market. So I'll end with that in a couple minutes. But let me get to the last few questions. But even long run QQQ versus TQQ is huge difference on percentage. Yep, yeah, absolutely. Um, James AU. So thank you for the comments. Thank you for the feedback, man. What do you think coming next week? Seems like a rally is holding up from here. So James, if the administration shares more information about the trades that are closing or will be closing with other countries, then we're gonna see the market keep on rallying next week. The news that came out today at the end of the market, they're not big news or big enough to drop the market. If anything, I think a lot of the stocks are just gonna hit some of the not the resistances, the supports. Sorry, I was having a hard time. They're gonna hit a lot of the supports, and from there they're just gonna keep moving up. If there are no other bad news other than what came out today. SPY dropping 5%. Possible rally coming. Ali Landeros. Thank you for the comment. So, like I mentioned earlier, if they announce more deals with more countries, I think all of the stocks are gonna rally, all of them. Okay, the news again that came out today, they're not big news to drop the market. It dropped today at the end of the day because the market needed a pullback, a healthy pullback to continue to move up. Because remember, stocks move this way, up and down, up and down. If the stock moves up, 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 it just tends to drop even harder. So in order to have a healthy market, you need to move up, then you need to have a red candle and then a green candle and maybe two red candles and then another green. So that's just the way the market works and the way the market is healthy. Okay, so the market needed this pullback because it had green candles for like 4 days straight. So it needed this pullback, and those news were, the straw that broke the camel's back to in order to have that healthy pullback. So I wouldn't worry too much about those bad news. Okay, I'm 18. I have 18 at Amazon at 206, so I have lots and lots of time. Najar, I mean, if you can wait and don't panic, Amazon. Let's see, Amazon, and again, don't take it this as financial advice, because we gotta say that because that's legally we can't really recommend when to sell, when to buy, and obviously that's not correct to tell it to someone, because you might have a longer horizon, for waiting. But I do like to tell people where their resistances are. Then you guys make the decision, right? So at 214, that's the first step. That's the first resistance. If it breaks it, so this is what the stocks do, right? If it breaks the resistance anytime within the next few weeks or months, it's gonna break it. It's probably gonna try to reclaim it again at 215, and if it respects that support, which the resistance becomes support, then it's gonna rally again to about 220, 221. Okay, and that is how the stock is gonna move. Once it breaks it, because it will break it, it's gonna reclaim it and then break it again, try to get to 220, because the good news keep coming, especially if they keep announcing the deals that they're closing with other countries. Now it does have a change this. It does have a big resistance at all-time highs, which is about 239, 240. So if you're trying to lock in some profits and you have a long-term term horizon, then maybe that's when you cash out and get some money out. You know, so it's up to you, man. Whatever you want to do, or you just want to cash out at 220 because you will just want to take some short-time profits and you don't want to keep looking at the stock market, because it also, I mean, it could also go south from here. It hits 220, then you have more bad news on whatever it is, that they're not closing a deal with China, and China doesn't want to trade with the United States anymore. And from 220, it could go all the way down to where it was a few weeks ago, which is 160. No, and then you could lose a lot more. Not to scare you, just consider that. If you have profits and you just want to be able to sleep at night because you just want to cash out pretty soon, then take the profits. But if you have a long time horizon, let's say you have 5 years, then I mean this is just a bump on the road. Not, and it's not gonna affect you at all. Okay, which broker do you recommend? Veronica, I can tell you some of the brokers I've used, and then you decide what you prefer to use. Robinhood is a user-friendly broker because the app is easy to use. You can have it on your phone, you can have it on your computer, and everything is easy to identify. Now, there are some other brokers. Depends on how you trade, right? If you plan to day trade, Robinhood is not the best for that. Robinhood is more for maybe swing trade, but not day trade. Because with day trading, you have to be able to enter into positions and in and out of positions very quick. And Robinhood lags a little bit behind other brokers, which is like Charles Schwab or Fidelity. There are designed for day traders. Now, a lot more for day traders than Robinhood. Robinhood is more for maybe long term or swing trading. So that's what I know about those brokers. But again, it's up to you what kind of trading you do and what your goals are. I just don't want to realize a loss because it's my swing account. You don't want to realize the loss. Okay, so you don't want to lose on it. Yeah, I mean, I bet that's your savings account or your swing account. Sorry. So an HR, yeah, I mean, and you said you were in Amazon, right? Yeah, you were in Amazon. So if it's your swing account, then as soon as you have some profits, I mean, I would consider, if I was you, taking some profits, making some money, and then and maybe wait for another dip. And when you buy for the dip, this is what professionals do. Um, when there is a dip, you dollar cost average, right? You buy a little bit when it drops. You don't put your $18,000 as soon as it drops, because you don't know if it's gonna continue to drop, and if it does, then you're out of money. You don't have any more money to invest. So if you buy when it drops and you buy, I don't know, maybe 10 shares, maybe 5 shares, and then it drops more, then maybe you buy another 10, and it drops more, then you buy another 10, um, because you never know where the bottom is. Now, the good thing about dollar cost averaging is that every time you buy, I mean, your dollar cost average, if the stock is going down, and if it's a good stock like Amazon, um, your cost is gonna average somewhere in the middle. And when the stock rallies, then you're still gonna be in the positive, right? You're gonna be in the positive. Now, if it doesn't, and you only bought like 10 shares one time and another 10 shares, and then it rallied up, you are still in the positive, right? So what's wrong with that? And you are able to sleep at night because you're doing it the smart way. You know that even though your gains maybe are not as big as they would have been if you invested all of it in when it took that second dip, it's still fine because you're still making money. So I don't see, nobody has ever complained about making profit. Nobody, right? Obviously, we all want more. We all want to make more money, but nobody knows where the bottom is. Nobody, not the professional, not Warren Buffett, who is the master of trading, he doesn't know where the bottom is. So what does he do? He dollar cost averages and buys stocks when everyone else is not buying. Okay, so I'll leave you with that thought. Veronica followed. Thank you, Veronica, for the follow. I appreciate it. And again, guys, if you guys can help me with the tap, I'm gonna read the last few comments and then we are out of here. I'll let you guys rest as well. Says we don't know what the bottom is. Post to rise. We don't know the bottom for anti-sale. Yeah, I've been buying on drops since last year. It's more than 5%. It retraces 2% at least the following. Yeah, fake outs. Absolutely, man. Dollar cost average. That's a smart way to do it. On Trump, only Trump, no. Well, lately, technicals don't really do much if Dollar Trump is the only one that moves the market. Every time he speaks and says either something positive or negative, the market reacts right away to it. So yeah, absolutely right. All right, guys. So before I leave, I like to leave you with a short quote. This quote is from Warren Buffett. I was reading a few letters that Warren Buffett writes every year, and he has really good quotes on those letters. So the quote reads as follows: he owns this company, and he says that our favorite time trend is forever. Okay, which means that he keeps buying stocks because he knows that the companies is investing in are good companies. He doesn't even look at the price, right? If he's buying Amazon, he knows that Amazon is a good company. He doesn't look at the price. He doesn't look at the trend. He doesn't look if the stock is going up or down. He just buys the company because he doesn't plan to sell the company in the next 10 or 20 years. Like that's not his plan. Or that's his plan, I'm sorry. To long term. And if the company is a good company, his money is in good hands. So again, our favorite trend period is forever. That's what he said. So with that, I'm gonna leave you guys and hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for being here this Friday night, and I hope I was able to share a little bit of knowledge with you and hope you guys follow me on the lives. I'll be dropping some news during the week in the morning. Every video that I drop, it's on news that happen before the market opens. So hope that helps also with your trades. So that's it. Have a good night, and I will see you Monday 9 to